Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real energy in reality. You can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I am your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm going to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. And yes, my voice is still acting up, but it's okay. Like I said yesterday, I am still going to be here and do what I gotta do. Because that's what I do, period. And you know what else I do love more importantly than just being stuck on a bus? It's my cup mug. And you can get your cup mug at lanazcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Get your cup mug, period.
And hello, my name is Jack. I am the resident game designer of the panel, and I would never tip your tower at the last moment. I would never do that. Stop thinking about it.
Well, I would never, ever. I mean, because if you didn't tell me a clue, I'm surely not going to tell you a clue. But then I'm going to get mad because you didn't tell me the clue.
Lana, you have to understand. Two-way streets don't exist.
But if you don't want to tell me the clue, Jack, then I'm not going to tell you my clue.
But
But
then,
I'm going to be
but
very
you're
mad
still gonna get mad when I don't tell
when
you
you
my
don't
clue.
tell me the clue because,
Because like at that point then it's my problem and
right,
it's no longer even. I'm now
no.
more mean. it
Because
Eye for an eye.
even though I told you that I'm not sharing anything with you anymore, I'm still gonna be upset that you didn't share wheels with me
Yeah.
because that's how we work. That's the dynamic here. But yes, we are here. We are back. We're talking Destination X episode 8. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, the end of it all. And so we got a lot to discuss. But before we jump into it, y'all know if you've been here before, hey. Welcome. I'm gonna see if this works today. And there we go, showing you all the love for you for being here and subscribe to our channel. So if you've done that already, we thank you. If this is your first time and you're just stumbling upon us, oh my God, you got a lot to catch up on. We have done so much. We covered this entire season. So when you finish this, we can go back and watch our other recaps of all of our other episodes of this season. But thank you for joining. You get some confetti party for you because yay! Thanks for joining. Now hit that subscribe button to so you can support us and help us get to reach our goal or our mission of 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. We would truly, truly appreciate that if you would join us and help us do that. You also can join us on all of our other channels. We have 3 other channels that you could if you find it more interesting, if you find it like you want to support those channels too, not sort of instead of, but two, go to our main channel, which is our drag and drag race channel at the Cup Pod. If you're a fan of those things, that is where you should go. Our Eurovision channel, at the Cup ESC, if you're a fan of Eurovision Song Contest, and at the Cup Ringside, if you're a fan of WWE Wrestling. We got a lot going on all of these channels. So if you're down, check it out. We appreciate you going and supporting. Also, our audio podcast links and our Patreon links are down in the description below. If you need to check us out on the go, click those audio links and check us out where all your podcasting needs are met. That's where we are. As well as our Patreon, if you need early access to some things that'll come out later in the channel and exclusive content that will never come out on the channel, but you will get to see it. So check out our Patreon. Join us, follow us on all of our socials at the Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky, and engage with us on our socials as well. We truly, truly appreciate it. And if you've watched this podcast or watched any of our podcasts and you said, I could do that, I could possibly be a podcast. I like talking about this show, and you want to join our panel hit us up in our DMs on our Instagram at, 'cause that's where we mostly can see most of our messages. So hit us up on our Instagram, and we will send you all the details on how you could figure out how to join this podcast because we would truly, truly love more POVs. So if you ever thought about talking about a show and you're so passionate about a show, but you don't have people in your life who wants to hear you talk about those shows, this is the place to
Maybe
go.
we do.
We definitely do. So come let us know if there's some shows that you are interested in. Hit us up in our DMs and we will get back to you very, very soon. So thanks. Jack, you,
Lana.
you jumped off the bus yesterday.
Yeah. I got confused. I went into the police station for a little longer. I thought I'd have to interrogate all the clues and get too much information.
Who-
Unfortunately, the bus had to do a full loop to get me back on. So
Yeah.
I'm very lucky.
Yes.
But I am here now. So
Yeah, welcome back. We appreciate you. You spent way too long in that interrogation room. We had to leave you. Um, but it was okay because we got it done and we're back. You're back, and I want to know what you thought about yesterday's. What was your take on the other episode that you missed?
it was interesting watching honestly, most of this cast go, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna benefit myself. And then, of course, Darren and Claire being like, no, I actually want to screw over people.
Hmm.
And none of it mattering.
None.
Because Claire screws someone over, and then Judith goes, hey, I have an immunity idol anyway. I'm just gonna, like, not care about the penalty and just tell Claire the clue anyway, which doesn't end up mattering. Claire wins anyway, sends the three people she absolutely should have into the map room, and then Nick leaves out of nowhere. Genuinely a whirlwind
Wow.
of an episode.
Wild. Wild behavior.
I mean, it's crazy how Josh was really far off, but actually no, he stated the right location by he basically was super close by accident via saying Rome when it's like here, even though it's a full like U to get there.
Hmm.
Just insanity on how Nick goes out. But also I didn't appreciate Nick's tone.
Oh,
So I'm not so mad.
oh,
I understand he's probably a lovely person, but at the same time, I got pissed at Maddie for doing that. You don't get to have that same attitude when you are 7 legs in.
oh. So I want to know because I have someone who talks to me about this show, and they said that they totally disagreed with me on my take yesterday about Nick talking about how he continues to do things or say things in the game because he knows it upsets Saskia and he knows it gets on her. And I personally said I don't like that because I think Saskia is like, "Hey, I just need you not to play the game 24 hours a day and all day, and that we just need a little break from the game from time to time." And Nick doesn't turn off, and he's constantly playing, constantly playing, constantly playing, and it's annoying. And so when she brings it up, he's like, "Well, I know this bothers you, so I'm going to continue to do it because I'm getting in your head." And I personally was like, that's a little manipulation, emotional manipulation that I personally wouldn't want to do in a game to constantly break somebody down until they are crying and like, oh, I just need to get away from you on a break. And the person said that they don't agree with me on that, that they thought it was just gameplay.
I don't think Nick realized in the moment that it was so bad until basically Saskia was like, hey, could you not? And then Nick was like, oh, that's a lever I can pull? Interesting. Let me continue to pull that lever. And obviously, Nick isn't liked by anyone on that bus right now. So this is kind of just like a foregone conclusion of, well, I hope you can figure out every single Destination X by yourself now because no one's going to help you. So I think that was just kind of like a final nail in the coffin of, oh, that's how you're treating this.
Mhm.
Interesting. I'm going to go hang out with everyone else.
Mhm.
Was it manipulative? Yes, but I don't think for the reasons that Nick thought it was.
Mhm. Okay. But well, that person probably will be listening today, so hey, you know who you are. But I don't know. I just found it to be real, but that's just my opinion, and we can have differences of opinions. But anyway, let's get into this episode because oh yes, let's get into this episode because we lost Nick. Nick has got off in Paula. Paula,
Hula.
Pula. Why don't I call it Paula? Pula. He gets out from Pula. He knew it was Pula. He just couldn't find it. Just couldn't find it.
Which is insanely funny. The
It's
fact that, yeah, no, he did find everything that he needed. He just
uh-huh.
didn't know where it was, which is
Absolutely.
unfortunately the central conceit of the show.
It was kind of funny. But we leave Pula and we're driving. And so, okay, Jack, I'm going to say this. I was quite on the right path this round of where they were going. Even with all the little
Yes.
misdirects that they threw at us, I was kind of following the patterns because um when they said it was like 773 kilometers from the next destination or 800 and something kilometers from the next destination, I was like, okay, so they're going to be traveling pretty far from where they are to getting to the next destination X. So it just depends on which way they're going. Are they going towards Slovenia or are they going towards Italy? Those are the two, or were they going up to Hungary? Because
Mm-hmm.
I was like, are we going up? Are we going, north or west or east? Like, are we going south? And so when I started seeing where they were going, I was like connecting the dots along the way. So I was like, okay. So I was following along this time and I was on the right path. And even with, like I said, the Mr. X we will talk about, I think I would have been, if not directly there, very close to there because of the traveling that they're going. I think the more I watch this show, the better I become at this map stuff, this geography, and where they're headed. Hmm.
I will say, I do think in general, this episode was much easier to clock. There were a lot more direct pointers.
Mhm.
Uh, there are two that I can bring up later where it's like, oh, this is 100% where we are. They just need to say it.
Right.
But like I clocked some certain things where I was like, okay, we're probably here, and then it's just like 1, 2, 3, yep, cool, we're done, move on. But
Right.
this, I also feel like this was much more of a destination that people from the US probably know
Mhm.
versus like Pula from last episode did not know that was a thing until they brought it up.
Right. I had no idea what the Pula was, but it's okay. Um, so when we get into we go on the bus and they're riding, first things first, Claire and Judith and Darren are like, so y'all not gonna tell us clues anymore? And they're like, "What do you mean?" Saskia and Josh are like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, we pretty much figured out that y'all not gonna tell us clues, and if y'all did, I wouldn't believe it anyway. So from this point on, we're not sharing clues with you guys anymore." And Saskia's like, "I mean, you could trust me. I will share clues." And they're like, "Don't believe
Uh,
that. We don't believe that." And so, um, they were like, so Claire and Judith pretty much drew the line in the sand and was like, "We're not going to start share clues with you two anymore because we don't believe you and we don't trust you." And so And she was like, and Saskia was like, well, you can trust me. And they were like, but we know if we tell you anything, you're going to tell Josh. So we can't really trust that. Y'all are tight. We're going to be tight. And that's just that. And I was like, okay. I hope this information, this little line drawn in the sand don't bite you in the butt because I feel like they know where their strength is in
Mm-hmm.
figuring out where they are. And if I was them, I wouldn't trust the three of us to come figuring out where we are because they haven't done so in the past. And the people they got the information from, one is now gone off the bus. And the other one, you have just said, I'm not trusting you to tell you anything.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It it very much does feel like the people who have a very specific knowledge base and like a specific way of getting clues are all going, we're not going to accept any information from the people who can interpret the other type of clues.
hmm,
Which,
I don't get it.
so you're just banking that every other clue in the game is going to be yours?
Right, right. It's just
Sure.
sure.
Your own funeral, I guess.
It was just wild to me, and they were like they were very hard stance on we're not sharing clues, we're just gonna keep it us, and y'all do what y'all do. And so at that point, Saskia and Josh are like, okay, I guess we on our own, bruh. Like we just gotta do what we gotta do. Um, and so I don't know. For me, and this is probably for me, I just found Claire and Judith to be very annoying this episode for me. I don't know if anybody else agrees with that, and that's fine if you don't. I just found them to be very annoying and very hypocritical in this episode about what they were going to do. Like Judith is on this whole stand about how she didn't like Saskia and Josh because of they lied. And if they were going to lie to them, they would lie to her. And I get that. But it's like you also participated in said lie. You didn't fight for not lying. And then you didn't turn around and tell them the truth when you could have been like, you know what? Actually, it was this person. This is who it was. They lied to you. And I'm not going to do that. I refuse to do that. You didn't do that. You participated in said lie and said nothing. Even saying nothing was you participating in the lie that you were so mad about that you participated in. And that made everybody not trust them, but you're okay because you said, I didn't want to lie, but you did. So I'm like, now you don't trust them. Fine. Got that. You don't trust them because you're like, if they lied to them, they will lie to me, which is probably true. But now you're saying, well, I'm not going to tell you anything, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to help y'all with nothing, and I'm going to be on this high horse about it. Like the entire episode, Judith was like, and I don't like Saskia. I won't do anything for Saskia. It's like she's obsessed with Saskia in this moment, in this point. I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling. And Claire is the same way, just like, I don't trust anything and I don't believe anything and da 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 da. Da. And I just find it so weird because it's like it's a game. It is a game. There's going to be some deception. It's going to be some things you might not want to do, but you have to do. And it's just like, I don't know.
It
But
was a
you're looking,
lot.
yeah, but you're looking down on people for playing the game. And I was like, I don't really like that. I don't know.
It definitely was a little bit of like, you can lay off a little. I get why you're doing this. But like, who is it going to help? Who is it going to hurt? You already know that so many of these late game missions so far have been about social and screwing each other over. You are just painting that target on yourself and going, well, come
Oops.
take the shot. Like
Right.
it's not gonna work out.
It never does. But we do get the first challenge, and they have to pick a number from 1 to 5 on the bus. And they pick their numbers. Darren screams out 3, Judith is 2, Claire is 1, Saskia is 4, Josh is 5. And then they put their goggles on and they end up on a football field, soccer field for you Americans. Like I'm not one of them. Um, soccer field for us Americans, football field for everyone else. Um, they're on the football field and they have to go in order and balance a football or soccer ball on a plate and hold it up but on a pole, and then they have to balance it to get it to a goal to put it in. If you put it in a goal, you get to look in a bag for a clue, and the further the goal is, the more direct the clue is. Um, and so, but the next person can't go until a goal is scored, and they only have 10 minutes to do this. And so the second Rob says that, Saskia and Josh is like, "Oh, we're not gonna be able to do this. We're not going
Yeah,
to be able to
we're
play."
not playing today. This is the cute challenge. We're gonna get up in some nice, cute uniforms. Nothing is gonna matter. We're not playing this game.
We're not playing because immediately Judith and Claire like, "Oh, good, we're 1 and 2," and they were like, "We could run down this clock if we wanted to," so they would never get a chance.
Unfortunately, they didn't even need to run down the clock. They just were not good at this.
They were just not good. No, Claire took up half the time, more than half the time, to even get the first goal in, and she went to the furthest one, and
The
she got
first one,
the
yeah.
first one, the first one, not the furthest one, the first one, and got it in, and saw her clue, which was ballet slippers, and
And she doesn't even recognize as ballet, just like pink and black clothing.
right.
What?
You don't see these are ballet slippers, but okay, pink and black clothing is what she sees. And then it's up for Judith to go, and she just doesn't get it. And they literally stop the clock at 1 minute, and they're like, "Hey, you can substitute the next person in with 1 minute left on the clock." And so it's Darren, and Darren doesn't get far. So they only get that one clue in this 10 minutes of a wasted challenge, in my opinion. Um, but
And even then, it's like the most basic clue that no one understands. And honestly, until it was directly told to me the relevance of it, I would
mhm,
not have understood it. So they were right about it being cryptic.
it was very cryptic, especially going into where they were going. I was like, what does that have to do with it? Then I was like, oh, okay. Once
Mm-hmm.
they told me, I was like, oh, well, okay. But Claire does share with the group that it was pink and black clothing. But of course, Josh and Saskia don't really particularly think she's telling them the truth, because she literally just told them that she wasn't sharing clues with them. So they don't particularly believe her. But I don't know, even if they did believe her, if they would have gotten anything from that clue, from where they were
Yeah.
headed. So after they finish that, they get back on the bus. Oh, no, 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 no.
There's
So
one more
there's
thing for some reason.
one more thing, because I guess since nobody really won, they had to give something to somebody. And so they made it where the group picks one person to go get a view of where they are. And so everybody picks Darren, because Darren is pretty much in the middle of the two groups. So Darren wins the challenge view, I guess. Cool.
Yay! I
Cool.
mean, it's a nice view.
It's a nice view.
Unfortunately, Darren has horrible eyesight. So this view essentially means nothing.
Can relate. They did find a clue when they got there, even though they were trying to divert them a little bit because they had orange slices. Um, um, Oranges split in two. They had European footballers' names on them, but we found out later they're from Slovenia and Croatia, and someplace else. But then they had this ticket that they found that had admit one San Marino versus uh starts with a P.
Helen, I believe.
Per- Perlin? Perlin?
It's something like that.
Yeah, um it was something like that. But I wanna make sure I'm right because I looked it up, of course.
Let
Paran.
me pull the clip back up here. Yeah,
Piran,
Perrin.
Piran. It was a town in Slovenia. So they were trying to get people to think they're going to Slovenia. They were back in Croatia. Well, they were still in Croatia. San Marino, thank you to the Cup ESC channel because I knew what San Marino was because of the ESC and how they have San Marino. Um, nationals or San Marino, like one of the big destinations for nationals are in San Marino. That's one of the big things. So I heard about San Marino from Eurovision. So thanks to Eurovision channel because I would never know. But I knew what San Marino was. I was like, okay, so San Marino, I've heard of that. That's in Italy. So Paran, Slovenia versus San Marino in Italy. Okay, so either we're going to Slovenia or we're going to Italy. That's where my head went in that moment. I was like, so where are we going? Um, so Darren looks, he sees the beautiful town in Paran, he sees the sea, he sees the beautiful prominent church, which is that I found out it was St. George's Church in Paran. Um, just a beautiful that he saw the town hall, saw the flags, but could not make out what the flags were because, of course, bad eyesight. I can relate to that, Darren. Relatable. Um, he just saw that and he didn't really get any really good idea what it was.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, I don't know if it was really that visible, but you could at least see it was three
If-
stripes.
Yes.
Like that part was visible, and at that point, you're like, okay, what are the obvious ones? We're not in Germany. Like, there's a lot of obvious options, but who knows?
Who knows? But he goes back on the bus and he tells everybody everything what he saw. And Judith is like, I thought we promised not to say anything. And I was like, he didn't have anything really. It really didn't matter.
Yeah.
He could have told them exactly what he saw, and nobody would have figured it out from that because he
Hmm.
didn't give them any information on really where they actually were, or that just where they are now. They know they're leaving, so it's not like I guess it can put them on the right path. But I don't know. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but
I
she was a
didn't
little.
either, but
She was a little annoyed that he told them. He was like, Darren is playing both sides, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, oh, do this, girl. It's not that deep. Listen to the clues that he got. What did you get from that? So whatever you got from it, you think they got something different from you? Like he didn't tell them in secret. He told everybody at the exact same time. So it's like, okay. But they continue to go on their journey and the next challenge brings out the they get off and they are at a lake with kayaks and oars, and everybody went and stood in front of their name on the oars, and then they had to shuffle and pick someone else. Um, you can't pick yourself, pick someone else who you're going to now play for instead of play with. And we see Darren pick Josh, and Josh picks Darren. we see Judith pick Saskia, and Saskia picks Claire, and Claire picks Judith. And they find out they have to get on these boats, and they have to paddle out to collect blocks. And these blocks, you have to build a tower. And once you build the tower, whoever has the tallest tower at the end of the round wins. But there are also little clues along the way. If you go to the shoreline, there's messages in a bottle, there's these planks, there's all this stuff covered up that are supposed to be clues to help guide you to Destination X. Um, this was actually pretty funny seeing how this turned out and how
Oh,
it went.
this was a disaster of a challenge for multiple people going, wait, wait, now I'm essentially guaranteed to throw this challenge. I just have to figure out how. But oh my god, this turns into a comedy of errors real fast.
Absolutely, because Darren and Josh start off by making a gentleman's agreement that they will go hard for this challenge and they will go all in and do the best they can for everybody in this challenge. So they made that, and Darren is like, I'm going to stick to that. And Claire, of course, is going to do what she has to do so Judith can win, and Judith is going to do everything so Saskia can't win. Even though Saskia is trying to do everything for Claire to win, which was interesting. So we get out. People are kayaking out, grabbing blocks, collecting blocks, and coming back, collecting clues. Judith has a clue that has the math sign pi, and
Mm-hmm.
then it has as returned underneath it. So that's one clue. Um, Josh has a clue with four numbers going down it, but the numbers are actually leaning as it's going down. If you put kicking up what I'm putting down, y'all, check it out. And then he has another clue that said can be confused with country in Spain, or yeah, in Spain,
Could be mistaken for Spanish country,
a
and
Spanish
that
country.
wording is very very important.
Yes, can
I
be
will
in.
say
Mm-hmm.
specifically, I as returned got me it immediately. I was fully there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that
Mm-hmm.
is a very simple cryptic to provide a simple answer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
at least that's for me. That's when I locked in for the round.
Yeah, I locked in when I saw the numbers
Mmm.
going down, but they were slightly tilted. And I was like, four letters going down, tilted,
Hmm.
and we possibly are in Italy. It makes sense to
Yeah.
me. It started to click to me, and I was like, okay, okay, all right. But um so they're stacking their blocks, and they have a minute left to get all the blocks stacked up and whatever. And we see people are stacking, and it's high, it's going, and everybody's working. And then we see at the last 5 seconds, it's like we see Judith is like, hmm. I look and I see, I think mine is taller than everybody's, but this is for Saskia. So, oop, I'm just gonna not.
Whoops.
Oops.
Literally just says
Oops.
whoops. Oh no.
It
Oh
fell.
no.
Oh no, it fell. The wind. The wind blew.
And Saskia's like, wow, I can't believe it fell on this very windless
Endless
day.
day.
It just a full just oh okay, that's how we're playing this game.
That's what we're
Okay.
playing with. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. Clocked it. Got you, sis. I see what we're doing. And you know what? Am I mad at Judith? No, because
No.
this is a game, and you said we have all agreed, we are not helping each other anymore. So therefore, I don't want you to get the clues. So, doop, oops,
Whoops.
whoops, and just like, okay, well, sorry, girl. Should have stood by Josh's neck.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you technically chose this option. Well,
Well, no, because Judith literally picked Saskia right off the bat.
yeah,
Josh didn't have
but
time to move, but anyway. So we get to the results of the um the challenge winner, and remember Josh is playing for Darren, and Josh wins.
Josh wins the challenge, but of course
He
that
won
win just kind of like transfers over.
to
And
Darren.
they make it so cruel on giving the clue away. It's like, can the winner of today's challenge please receive their clue? And it's just like, you could have just said, Darren, go get your clue, but no, you have to rub it in.
Right. And Josh was like, it's no, okay. All right. But Darren goes and receives his clue. Now remember he made his gentleman's agreement with Josh to do the clue. He made the
Mm-hmm.
agreement. Um, but it is what it is. He goes back, he gets his clue, and it's a postcard of a woman that they keep saying Judy Chalmers, Wish You Were Here. Apparently that was a show back in the day. Wish You Were Here or something. But
Yeah.
I didn't get that. But they kept it was the woman, but they showed the woman doing a pose like this.
It's
So
so obvious.
obvious to me.
It, like, wish you were here, that pose. It's like, you don't casually pull that out with, like, such touristy vibes unless you're directly pointing at something.
Right.
But of
But
course, Darren doesn't get it.
he had no idea. Had no clue where he was. Um, no idea. And so he's like, I don't know what this means to me. Is rubbish, it's bullocks, I don't know. So they tell him that he can share his clue with one other person, but nobody else, because if you do, you will be penalized in the map room. So he is going back and forth. Do I take Josh, who I've given who won this for me? He's the only reason I won this. Or do I stick with my alliance with Judith and Claire and pick one of them to come and share this with? Um, he chooses Claire, and now
Darren,
Josh.
you had one job, you made a public deal with someone, and then broke it. Great
Yeah,
idea for the rest of this game.
yeah, because
Oh my god.
now Josh, because Darren comes out, he's like, Josh and Saskia are sitting right there waiting to see if he's going to say anything. He's like,
Claire,
"Mm-mm."
go ahead.
And then he goes and sits back there and, like, and so she goes back there. So now Josh is very convinced that Claire and Darren now both have a clue, and he's just not telling them at this point. And so Claire goes back, gets the same clue, and guess what? She has no idea what it means. She's completely lost. She doesn't know what it means. And she's like, ah. So her and Darren have a powwow. They know they can't say anything to anybody else. So they ask Judith to excuse herself. And they go and they try to discuss it. And both of them realize we don't know what this means. We don't know what this is. And now Darren's like, did I just screw myself? Oh, I don't know. This is I don't know. This is crazy. This is wild. I don't know what's going on. And so now it's time for Josh and Saskia to like, well, we just have to figure this out on our own because they are not telling us anything actually. So let's figure this out. This is where I said, okay, Saskia, I see you. I see you for the game
The
player that you are.
the insane amount of correct read that come out of her mouth within a 2 minute period is wild. She could have had a full earpiece on by the producer at that point. Like she was devouring what was going on.
She was on point on everything. She was like, think about what we did today. Everything was about balance and towers. We had to balance things and make sure things were balanced. And it was about balance. It was about balance in the challenge. It was about balance with the balls. It was like, how do we balance things out? She said, and then we had to build towers. We were by a tower when we played the game. We're by a castle with a tower when we played the football game. Um, we built these towers, and she was like, I think with the balancing and the towers, and I think we're going to. She was like, I think the Leaning Tower of Pisa might be it because she listened to Josh's clue. He was like four numbers going down. She was like four letters, four numbers, like everything she was saying. It just started to click, and she was like, I think we're going to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And Josh was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if we traveled that far, but I don't have anything else to go on. Like, so I think we go lock in a Leaning Tower of Pisa. Meanwhile, the other three in the other part of the bus are like, all we can go on is what we saw. And on that ticket, it said San Marino. And we've been traveling enough where we could have hit to get to San Marino. And so they all lock in on San Marino. And
There
so I
have
was
been
like,
so many times in this goddamn show
"Mm,
where somehow the people with all of the clues and information just make wildly wrong guesses while everyone who has like minimal stuff and are purely guessing are right on the money. It's
mm-hmm.
incredible
It's
how often this happens.
insane. It's insane to see that happen. And so they go to the mat room because after everybody figures their things out and not sharing or sharing, but mostly not sharing, they go to the mat room and Saskia and Josh both land on pizza with Darren, um, Judith, and Claire thinking they're in San Marino. Judith and Claire find San Marino and they put it in the center of San Marino. Darren cannot find San Marino on the map. And so he's looking, he can't find it. He can't find what's happening. And so he decides to put it somewhere where he thinks is closer to San Marino or what. He just, it literally is like, I don't see it. I don't see it. I guess I'll put it here. I don't know. I don't know. Could be right, could be wrong. Very much not sure. I don't even think he knows exactly where he put his eggs.
I don't think he does.
I don't. I don't think he knows. But so after everybody's X is set, Rob comes back on the bus and he's like, the person, the two people in the bottom were literally 1 kilometer away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so at this point, I'm like, either they're not in Pisa or they are in Pisa. And if they are in Pisa, then the people in San Marino are wrong. If the people in San Marino are right, then it's between the Pisa people because we have no idea where Darren put their ex. Um, So Rob announces that the person who is the furthest away from actual destination X and leaving the bus is Claire. Claire's gone. And I'm like, oh,
And we're back down
oh,
after basically 4 episodes of turmoil.
hmm,
Back down to 4 players who've been on the bus the entire time.
wild to me. Completely wild.
It and the thing is, all 4 of these players have been really strong throughout the game at various points. So like,
Hmm.
it feels deserved. I,
Yeah,
I'm not mad at this final 4 going into this last week of gameplay.
yeah, me either. It's like they actually are doing the best. But what's crazy to me is Claire leaving leaves a hole for Judith because she trusted Claire more than she
Mm-hmm.
trusted Darren. And Darren has really been literally giving nothing in this game. But guess what? I would not be surprised if Darren is the winner of this game
I wouldn't either.
because I think they're going to end this in the UK. I think we're going back to the UK, and I think they're going to end this in the UK. And if they end this in the UK in London, Darren knows London like the back of his hand.
Okay, if they end the game in the UK in London, I feel like that's inherently unfair. Like, you can't give a taxi driver who literally had to study London for 7, 8 years the final game of London. That
Right.
I feel like they're gonna do something where it's gonna be like, oh, we're gonna drop you off in the middle of Spain or something
Yeah, I
similar.
hope so. I hope they don't go to London. I hope the final destination is somewhere like Hungary
Yeah.
or somewhere else. Like I hope they don't go back to London. I hope they don't end in the UK because that just seems a little unfair. But who
I
really knows?
I will also note one thing at the very end of this episode. So, once they can actually talk about the clues that they got,
Yeah,
uh, they just casually talk through, and it's like, yeah, we had no idea there was a woman doing this, and Saskia and Josh go, that's just the pose that people do at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Are you kidding me? We would have gotten that instantly, and they're like, how would we have known that? Like, you had the option, Darren, to give it to Josh and honor your own agreement, and therefore you both would have been safe this round. But no,
because he couldn't talk to Saskia about the. That's the thing. You knew he couldn't say anything to the other person about it because of the uh because of the penalty. So even if he did tell her, I mean, even if he got the clue, he couldn't tell her. But
mm-hmm.
not that she needed it because she figured it out on her own.
All you had to do was bring Josh in on it instead of choosing Claire, and then suddenly you're safe. But no, you had to stick by your alliance, and therefore basically saved yourself. I think, was it Judith and Claire who were off by 1 kilometer?
Yep.
Oh,
Only reason you saved yourself is because you couldn't find San Marino and you just happened
yeah.
to put it closer to Pisa than they did.
It just.
It was wild to me. It was very wild to me that that happened. But uh, what else? It is what it
Whatever.
is at
This is
this
going to be
point.
a fun finale at the very least.
Absolutely. We see Claire sees that she's in Pisa. She's like, "Oh, I was so off. I was so off." But this finale is going to be very interesting to see. This next week, I cannot wait to see what happens. Who's going to come out victorious? Who's going to if I placed my money on anybody, if I was a gambling woman, I would put my money on Saskia, but I could also see Darren pulling this off and coming out of nowhere. So, but my money is on Saskia at this point.
Yeah.
Who do you think got it?
I think Saskia's had the best reads throughout, and the only person that really could have gotten in her way was Nick. So at this point, I feel like it's Saskia's game to lose.
Absolutely. Oh, we are going to find out everything next week, and we'll be right back here to talk about the finale week of Destination X UK. We're finally getting off the bus, Jack. Is there any more buses we got to jump on next? I hope not.
I mean, maybe a plane next week. Who
Maybe,
knows?
yeah, we'll jump on a plane or something. But we're going to be back talking about Destination X, the final week of game. Um, if you want to continue to join us on this journey, we truly, truly appreciate it. We've had a blast. We had a great time talking about it. Um, and we hope you had a great time listening to us talk about it. Come back next week for that. Follow us on this channel. Hit the subscribe button on this channel and all of our other channels. Um, Follow us on our audio podcast links, our Patreon. All those things are in the description below, as well as the link where you can get your merch at Lana Jack's Creations at Etsy.com. You can follow us on all of our socials at The Cut Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And again, if you ever want to jump on the panel and talk about your favorite show, hit us up in our DMs on Instagram, and we will definitely get back to you. Um, but yeah, if you hit your cut mug too, by the way. But yeah, that's gonna be it. We're gonna get out of here. But like I said, if this is your first time stumbling upon us, you missed a lot. So go back and watch all of our videos and all of our recaps, and you click the next video to watch, and we're gonna go and make more great content. So we will see you all next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers. Not fun. Here we go.